What's going on, everyone? This is the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, and this is my first episode where I review a version of Raw, and this is the 5/12 edition of Monday Night Raw. And this is for all of you who thought I was just gonna review TNA. No, it's not what it was. I just haven't had a chance to actually sit down and review a Monday Night Raw, but I got this one for you. And I'm also using a new microphone, so I hope it's clear. Um, I tested it a little bit. I think it sounds a little bit clearer than before. At least it's a little bit louder, so you can actually hear me. I'm still talking at the same volume, but the microphone does magnify the sound. But let's get into this episode of Raw. So first we had a Shield promo where they were basically like, Evolution is gonna believe in the Shield. And basically what happened was we saw Evolution. Well, actually, it was the Shield delivering the promo in the ring. Evolution comes in with the limousine, like as they always do. Evolution, and the Shield goes and attacks them, pretty much setting up a match at the end, near the end of the show. Well, actually, it was the main event of the evening. So basically, they set up the main event. So basically, they beat up Evolution. Evolution didn't really get a chance to fight back. They just kind of got beat up, and that was it. Next, we had a Zeb Coulter Jack Swagger promo where Zeb Coulter was trying to put Jack Swagger on not Jack Swagger, but trying to put Adam Rose on the deportation list. And he did. He turned the sign around. He had Adam Rose on the sign. I'm not sure where Adam Rose is from. I'm pretty sure he's not a real American, as Zeb Coulter would say. But it was basically a promo talking about that, and then RVD came out, and he and Jack Swagger had a match. Adam Rose came out during the middle of the match, basically distracting Jack Swagger, so RVD could pick up the win. I'm actually expecting a potential Swagger RVD feud, not Swagger RVD, but Rose and Swagger feud, because obviously Adam Rose is just debuting. I think it would be a good match for him to debut with Jack Swagger. I haven't really had a chance to watch Adam Rose though. I'm interested. I'm trying to catch up on my NXT, and I want to see Adam Rose wrestle. I think I've watched only one of his matches before he came to Raw. So I'm trying to catch up on my Adam Rose and my NXT people, my Pages and my Bo Dallases, especially before they debut. At least Bo Dallas, he's the only one left to really come out. But I'm hoping for an Adam Rose Swagger feud and see what happens with that. Next we had a Paige versus Alicia Fox match. I was wondering why Alicia Fox was dominating the match. I don't know if they're potentially setting up something with Alicia Fox and Paige, because Alicia Fox just went livid after this match. So I'm not sure if they're going to set up something with them too, considering Alicia Fox really hasn't been... I mean, she's been booked just in random matches from time to time, but she hasn't been in a legit feud with anyone. And I'm actually glad that Paige isn't just feuding with someone from the Total Divas crew just because Total Divas is a show. That makes me happy as well. But I don't understand why Alicia Fox dominated this entire match. The only reason that was even something to even talk about was just because there was a page turner out of nowhere, which made me happy because we haven't seen the page turner in a matter of weeks. But also, it shows that the page turner can come out of nowhere. So we do at least know that the page turner isn't just a move she has to like set up. It can come out of nowhere. It can't come out of nowhere like any other move, like a bro kick. You don't really think about the page turner coming out of nowhere, but I'm glad that it actually can. I'm not sure if this mic is rattling or not. I can't hear what the mic is doing, but if it is, I apologize. Next, we had a Daniel Bryan promo. Basically, the main point of this promo was to say Daniel Bryan is having neck surgery, which I think he's actually having a real neck surgery, but what I actually feel like is it's a minor neck surgery, because if it was anything that was gonna last months and months and months, then um, he would obviously would have vacated the titles, which actually in a later promo with Stephanie I thought was gonna actually happen, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. We have the Wyatt family versus the Usos and Cena. Um, the fans are really getting behind the Wyatt family, especially considering they're going against Cena. I think it was perfect to put Bray Wyatt and Cena together, because the best way to get someone over is to put him with Cena, because the crowd is really not a fan of Cena right now. They're tired of his gimmick. I mean, you know, people just basically think Cena is just basically he's the five moves of doom and that's it. He does the five moves of doom and that's pretty much what he does. He does the five moves of doom and that's all his that's I mean, especially in a tag match. Like you saw he got tagged in, did his five moves, well he was about to do his five moves of doom and then he got stopped midway. But I mean, that's why people aren't really feeling Cena. A couple years ago I wouldn't really notice that, but I realized that people really aren't seeing him. Actually, before this match, the Wyatts did the "We're Here" thing, but they didn't say the name of the city, which was I actually loved, because I love the "We're Here" thing. I love that. That's cool and all, but I just don't like it if they say the city every time. Like, you know, at pay-per-views, okay, I can understand it. WrestleMania, I can understand it. Every once in a while, I can understand it. But every time, it's just a little too much personally for me. I mean, I like, I guess now that they're getting more of a face pop, it's a cool thing to add in, because basically the fans are behind them anyway. But I do like it was just a plain "We're here tonight" instead of just like I don't even know where they were at tonight, but I was happy that it was just a plain "We're here." you know. Next we got oh, I actually wasn't done with this match. Um so I actually saw a lot of young talent in this match. You got the Usos, you got pretty much everyone but Cena. Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan. All three of them are very talented, and you got the Usos, which if they were to break up, I don't know what would really happen. The Usos I think could do well alone, but then again, I think they would have to get rid of one of them, which would be difficult on the other one considering they're twins and all. Um, so I really don't know. I mean, and I'm just thinking, years and years, probably years down the road, if they were to break them up, or if something was to happen, I really, I would love to see the Usos, you know, be even better than they are already, and I feel like they're a good talent in the ring. I mean, they may have to like cut one of them's hairs. I mean, I just feel like if they were to break up, it would be kind of like Shad and JTG, where nothing really happened. They kind of feuded, but they feuded and then nothing happened. After that, JTG just sits in the back at this point. Next, we have the also there was a knee insecurity. I don't. I actually I listed a lot of things from this match. There was a knee insecurity, which I actually thought looked really cool. I don't know why, but I really did. It was one of the Usos that did the knee insecurity. I actually thought it looked really cool. And then I don't know what it is about Cena, dude. Like he can't. He's not. I don't know if he's the best at selling the moves. Personally, to me, because during this match, he was looking around during the Sister Abigail. So Bray was about to do the Sister Abigail, and obviously, Cena knows that Jimmy or Jay, whichever one of the Usos, is gonna come and super kick him. But Cena's just like looking around, like like looking around like he's like lost. He could at least act like he's knocked out or something. Like, don't look around. At least close your eyes. I don't understand sometimes with Cena, man. Cena's a great person, but sometimes in the ring he just confuses me. And then the biggest question of this is, will Bray ever go over John Cena? Like, we have a last man standing match set for next pay-per-view, and this is like the prototypical Cena match right here. I mean, John Cena in a last man standing match, the never give up, never say die attitude. This is pretty much the typical John Cena match right now, so it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen with that. So after this match, I can't even remember who actually won that match. I didn't mark it. I was writing a lot because I was just thinking a lot during this match. But after that match there, we had an Evolution promo, and basically, they were picking out every member of the Shield. They were talking to every member of the Shield, and they were like, we're gonna get you, we're gonna bury you, we're gonna bury you, and all of this. And basically, this match set up the Roman Reigns versus Batista match for the main event. Well, not this match, but this promo. Basically, that's what this promo was about. And actually, what happened was Evolution was in the ring, and the Shield comes from behind and attacks them during like the middle of their promo. And Triple H is about to talk, and Batista just takes the mic from him and is like, Roman Reigns, you think you're the muscle? I want you, and it's pretty much what happened there. Was not Roman Reigns, but Batista calling out Roman Reigns for a match at the end of the night. And it just, seeing Roman Reigns and Batista in the ring together, especially with the main event and all, it brings a little attention to some comparisons. You got a 3-person group. I mean, obviously Evolution previously was with Ric Flair too, but you gotta think, you got 3 people. You got basically a 3. What am I trying to say here? You got 3 people in a in a team, in a faction. And you're looking at basically what seems to be like a younger version of that faction. So I mean, you kind of get a chance to make some comparisons while you're looking at them in that way. Next, we had a Nikki Bella versus Natalya match, and my only take from this one is like, why did they continue to do the Total Diva feuds? I mean, not everyone's going to understand them, obviously. If they did like a Twitter feud, it'd be a little bit different because people would kind of people would understand. Not necessarily that people would actually see the actual tweets and the actual war from the people, but Total Divas, I really don't know how many people watch it. I mean, I watch it, but I'm not sure, how many fans actually sit down and watch Total Divas. It's been like their only source of views. I just don't understand, why they make. Because I mean, if you think about Total Divas was created like it's like 6 months behind, actual like real life and all. So it's 6 months behind current time. So why have a feud with something that happened 6 months ago? So like, it was like probably like a month and a half ago. They had the Summer Rae versus Natalya match because of the slap on Total Divas. But then again, you gotta think, the slap on Total Divas happened forever ago. Oh man, you slapped me 6 months ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. And with the Natalya versus Nikki Bella thing, like they're fighting each other over a painting. I mean, that's really my only thing. Like, if you're gonna make a Total Divas feud, you're scripting Total Divas too. So, script it to where it's something legit. Like, at least the Summer Rae Natalya thing was legit. But, they fought for 1 week and that was it. Like, do something with it, I guess. But, I mean, they only put one Divas match on the card for the pay-per-views anyway, so I guess they don't really need the feuds from Total Divas. It's just something to add to the show. Considering they have a 3-hour show, they gotta fill it, obviously. But, Natalya versus Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella did win. Natalya kinda looked like she was heel turning here. She was, or maybe feuding with Ariane, or what's her WWE? Cameron, I think it is. Yeah, Cameron. So it looks like she was actually trying to start something with Cameron. So we'll see where that goes in the next few weeks. Well, we had Sheamus basically versus Ryback in a gauntlet match. He faced Curtis Axel first. When I see Sheamus with the United States Championship, I'm like, why is Dolph not the champion? Dolph's my boy. You know, Dolph's just my boy. It's probably biased in my opinion. Everybody's talking about how Sheamus should get a repackaged gimmick, and I agree. Cause I mean, Sheamus, I just feel as if, Sheamus is no different than Finlay. Sheamus is pretty much just an Irish man that likes to fight. And that sounds a lot like Fit Finlay when he was in the WWE as well. And probably when he was I think he was in WCW as well. So I'm sure he had the same gimmick then. So, I just don't understand why Sheamus hasn't got repackaged yet. I hope we see something between like Sheamus and Ziggler. But then again, for that to happen, it would be like, you would have to have some kind of, heel turn from Dolph Ziggler, but Dolph Ziggler is one of the most over superstars in the company right now, so I wouldn't expect that to happen. But then again, stranger things have happened. So first we had Curtis Axel versus Sheamus, and Sheamus beat him pretty much. Wasn't much to really speak of. And then you had Ryback come in and attack Sheamus and basically challenge him to a match right after that match. So this match kind of just turned into a gauntlet match. That's kind of what I saw out of it. I kind of just saw a gauntlet match. So we had Ryback versus Sheamus in that second match. Basically, the only thing to take from this, I love Ryback. I don't know. I got a thing for the young stars and things. Like, I actually like Curtis Axel. A lot of people don't like Curtis Axel, but I actually do like Curtis Axel, and I like Ryback, and I like the Bo Dallses and Adam Roses and stuff like that. But it was one move in this match that caught my eye, was that catching backpack stunner. I mean, I'm pretty sure he does it relatively often. He does the backpack stunner, but I don't know. This one just kind of caught my eye, like just the way he caught him, I guess. Catching backpack stunner. I was actually hoping Ryback would win this match, but it did not happen. They were not looking for the dreams and all. They were not going with my dreams here. Next on the card, we had the Stephanie McMahon promo where she called out Daniel Bryan, and was basically what I was thinking was he's going to have to vacate the titles. So I was thinking the injury was a little bit more serious at this point, but turns out it wasn't as serious as it seemed. Or it still may still be serious, but because of what happened, I don't think it's still pretty minor, and he'll probably be back. If not before Payback, probably the week after. So basically she said Daniel Bryan isn't an A+ player, and I was like, wow, because he's hurt, and it didn't really make any sense to me. But she said Daniel Bryan is not an A+ player, which is interesting. And basically she's like, Daniel, I have something to tell you, come out here. And his music doesn't play, and turns out Kane's music starts playing. Kane drags him out, his unconscious body out, and his shirt's all tore up, so you can tell Kane just beat the crap out of him, and that was pretty much it. And Stephanie's acting all concerned, which, you really can't believe her. Considering her history, you really can't believe her as much as you maybe want to. But pretty much after that, you had Ziggler versus Fandango, and I'm really loving Layla with Fandango. I mean, as much as I love Summer Rae too, I love Summer Rae, but Layla just looks great with Fandango, just as Summer Rae did. I don't know, maybe Fandango just makes people look great. But I mean, I wrote loving Layla. And so does Fandango. So basically, I guess they're starting some kind of love angle with Fandango and Layla, not just like a business partner relationship, dance partner relationship type thing, but more of a actual relationship type thing. I guess they're starting with them. Basically, my expectation on this is I really expect Summer Rae to come back. And Summer Rae to come back and feud with Layla. And maybe even add Ziggler in there for Fandango to have someone to feud with as well. Obviously, he'll be feuding with Summer Rae because it'll be personal. But then again, you know, that could happen as well. After that, we had a Hacksaw Jim Duggan promo came out of there. He's like, yeah, he's like, I've seen me on Legends House, and basically this was to set up a Big E Rusev feud because Lana interrupts and she's like, as patriotic as Hacksaw is, she's like, China's better than this country, China's better than the U.S. So, I mean, Lana's pretty great. She reminds me of a female version of Zeb Coulter as far as it goes, but Lana's great. Anytime Lana gets to come out to the ring, it's pretty great. But I mean, you got Lana coming out with Rusev, and basically Rusev was coming to crush Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Big E runs out. So this is pretty much the start of what I'm expecting as a Rusev Big E feud. And then after that, you had a Cody Rhodes versus Damien Sandow. The main thing to take from this is the way Cody Rhodes won this match. He won this match basically with a rake to the eyes, and Goldust wasn't upset about it. So I'm kind of thinking they're trying to stop the breakup, because I was actually expecting Goldust to be a little bit like, why do you have to win that way? Why can't you win? Why can't you win like a good person, a good guy, or whatever? But Goldust was kind of just, it's fine. So I guess we'll have to see what's going to happen with that. So I'm actually hoping for a Cody Rhodes heel turn, because I feel like, as a face, Cody Rhodes just gets buried. But as a heel, at least he was doing something. He was in some kind of feud that actually felt like it meant something with the paper bags and all of that. We had a vignette for Bo Dallas, and it just leaves me wondering, when is he actually going to debut, because we haven't seen any Bo Dallas. I mean, I'm not sure if he's been on NXT. I'm just getting a chance to actually catch up on the NXTs, so I haven't really had a chance to see if he's been on NXT recently. But I'm hoping he'll debut sometime soon. But they still haven't set a timetable for it either. They haven't said like, well, he's 2 weeks away from debuting. They just put Bo leave and then that's it. So I'm hoping that comes sometime soon. And then after that, we had a Bray Wyatt promo, which basically Bray Wyatt was saying that he wants John Cena in a last man standing match at Payback, which makes sense with the never say die attitude of John Cena, that he would be in a last man standing match with Bray Wyatt. It makes sense. The only thing about Bray Wyatt is he's going against John Cena. My thing is, if he finally does beat John Cena, is it gonna help him? Because I just hope, my hope is, I don't want him to get that Miz push. You know what happened to the Miz? Like, the Miz was like the most must-see WWE champion. He was at WrestleMania. He was fighting John Cena. He actually retained the title and beat John Cena. And look where the Miz is now. So I'm hoping, and the Miz was a pretty young guy at that time. He was on the rise, and so was Bray Wyatt. Like, think about it. The fans were getting behind the Miz, just as the fans were getting behind Bray Wyatt. Biggest difference here is it's not necessarily at WrestleMania, but it's more at, just at another pay-per-view, So it'd be interesting to see. I really hope Bray doesn't get that like Miz push and like he gets to the top and then too quickly and then just gets buried, because that would suck. But next, for the main event, it was Roman Reigns versus Batista, and the only thing I can really think of here is just comparison. Like, the Shield in the ring together is great, but the only thing I can really think of is trying to see, like, who's the Randy Orton of the Shield? Who's the Triple H of the Shield? Who's the Batista of the Shield? Like that's pretty much the only thing I can really think about when these three guys are in the ring, because obviously it's, Evolution's putting over the Shield, and you can see the Shield is, doing very well for themselves, considering they tried to send, the same guys they've been sending out to attack them. They tried to send them out to attack them, and it just didn't really, didn't really help. Basically, all three of the members of the Shield hit their finishing moves. So I mean, I like that they're showing off that, they still got individuality, even though they are a faction. Like that's always good to see that, they're not keeping them as a faction, and basically what's going to happen is one of them's going to break off from the faction, and he's going to be the star. Like, everyone was thinking Roman Reigns is going to be the star, and now people really got to think necessarily about it. They actually got to think about it a little bit, and they got to say, well, maybe they can all be, they can all be good stars in the WWE. So that's pretty much it for Raw, man. I'm really excited about what's going on with Raw, with Monday Night Raw. And, thing about Raw is, I watch Raw. I try to watch SmackDown. I don't always get to watch SmackDown, but I try to watch SmackDown. And, I watch TNA, and I try to watch ROH as much as I can. Raw is like the only, like, necessarily 3-hour show. And it's not bad. It's a bittersweet thing. That's what I would call it. Because you got to think, a 3-hour show is a long time to sit down and watch a wrestling show, if it's not a pay-per-view. And it makes it seem like it's no different than a pay-per-view, right? But then again, the 3-hour part, it sometimes does get long. But then again, you got to think, the 3-hour part also lets them bring in these young guys, also gives these young guys a chance. And that's my main thing. Like, it gives these young people a chance to get on TV and, do what they love to do in the ring. It gives the Pages a chance. It gives, people like the Wyatt family coming from NXT. People like, even people like Eva Marie that people don't really like. My only problem with the rating thing, it basically was just getting them on TV. It was just getting the other divas on TV, right? My only problem with that is, I don't know where JoJo is. JoJo is one of my favorite divas from the Total Divas cast. Even though she's not on this season, she was one of my favorite divas in that cast. If she's still around, why not put her on TV, even with something minimal as rating the moves in a match? Like, I just feel like, WWE's doing a good job of pushing the young people, and with the 3-hour show, it helps, because you can see, you can see these people. You can see the Shield, you can see the Wyatt family, you can see Bo Dallas, you can see Adam Rose, you can see Jack Swagger, you can see Sheamus, you can see all these young characters. I mean, some of them are older, it just depends. You can see Rob Back, you can see Curtis Axel, you can see all these different people, Wade Barrett, Rusev, you can see all these people, and with the 3-hour show, it helps you see them even more. So I mean, it's great to see. It really is. The 3-hour show is, like I said, it's bittersweet. Sometimes it's too long, but sometimes it allows you to see some of these younger guys get to flourish under the big lights of Monday Night Raw. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. This is my first Monday Night Raw review. I hope the new mic wasn't too annoying or really annoying at all. I hope it actually enhanced the show a little bit more. I hope you guys can hear me a little bit more clearly at this point. But guys, I'm going to see you all later. Please, if you have any thoughts on Monday Night Raw, on TNA, on any interviews you'd like for me to try to get, like I said, I have some in the works. If you have anything you want me to try to do, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do. I mean, I'm obviously not the biggest YouTuber ever. I just started this a week ago, I think, maybe two, probably 2 weeks ago. I started this 2 weeks ago, so I'm not the biggest YouTuber by any means, but I can still see what I can do. But I'll see you all later, and hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.